Moving a big fifth wheel. It takes time.
Here at the campground, there's always something going on. Today, our neighbors Charlie and Amy were moving their big fifth wheel over to a different site. And let me tell you, moving one of these rigs takes patience, teamwork, and a little bit of room. Here, they're getting everything set up and ready to move, which takes a little bit of time. The chocks have to come out, the stands have to come up, and you want to make sure everything is right before you start moving. Then you have to be careful pulling out. You need plenty of room to turn because it is not easy getting a big fifth wheel out of a campground site. Once they got it pulled out, they had to ease it through the campground road. We had to clear vehicles out of the way so they had room to get the big fifth wheel through. Then it was slowly up the hill. They had a big diesel truck pulling it, so the truck had no trouble. But as you can see, this is a very long and very big fifth wheel. Next, they came out of the road where they had been parked, which is on a pretty steep hill, and turned onto one of the main roads in the campground. They were taking it over to the new site, which is closer to the pool and a little flatter. That will be better when their grandchildren are here playing and visiting. Once they got there, they had to do the reverse part of the move and back this big thing into the new site. And you'll see there were a couple little problems along the way. They started bringing it in slowly, making sure they were not getting into anything. As they started backing up, we noticed this tree was going to be a real problem. So there were only two things to do: either cut it down, which nobody wanted to do, or Charlie had to climb on top of the fifth wheel and hold the tree branches back while they slowly backed it into the spot. This is no quick job. You have to watch everything. You don't want to rip the top of the camper, and you sure don't want Charlie falling off. So the driver has to be smooth. And we had some good people helping. Brandon was driving the truck, and Kevin, the campground owner, was directing everything. Just like they would do in a movie. You've got to have a good director to make it all work out. Charlie got the tree branches out of the way, and he stayed up on top of the camper, watching from above to make sure there were no problems up there. Then he sat down and took a little break. Well, we finally got Charlie off the camper. Now he's checking the back of the fifth wheel as they start backing it in some more, making sure everything is right. They still had to move a few things out of the way in the back, so they had a clear path coming in. Once everybody was satisfied, they started easing it back again. It is a slow process. Like I said, nothing quick. And we had a whole little community helping out here in the campground. That's one of the great things about living here. Everybody helps out and does what they can. The truck had to pull up and back up a few times, but they finally got it lined up. And it had to be lined up straight because next they'll have to build their deck back up. They took the old deck down from the other site and they're going to build it back here. So the camper needed to be straight so the deck can go back on straight. Finally, they got it in where they wanted it. Amy gave her final approval. Then some more neighbors came over to help with the slide outs, which were stuck a little bit. That's campground life right there. Good neighbors show up when help is needed. John and Jack helped get the slide out moving, and now the big move is done. But Charlie and Amy still have another full day of work ahead of them before they can really settle back in and start living in it again. That's part of RV life. You get moved in, then you get everything set back up. But most important are the friends you make here at the campground. Today was neighbors helping neighbors and another good day of RV campground living.
For more videos and tips, subscribe, like, and share.